Good afternoon and welcome back to the Simply Shed Talk Live with your host, Andrew Boyle, and special guest today, Peter Boyle.
Hey.
Not to get the two Peters confused, but Peter Miller, who is usually on the show, is sick today, or let's just say he says he's sick. So the verdict's still out whether he's just playing hooky from the show or he really is sick. But today we have Peter Boyle, who is my brother, who is in the shed industry, been in it for a long time. So, Peter, go ahead and maybe introduce yourself, how long you've been in the industry, and what your roles are in the industry.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, I'm his brother. My name's Peter. Like you said, not Peter Miller, Peter Boyle. But I've been in the shed industry a long time. Actually, how I got into the industry is I actually purchased the shed company from my brother Andrew and my brother Gary a long time ago. They were in it for a short time, had opportunities elsewhere, sold it to me, and I've been running with it ever since. We started off obviously with one lot. Grew from there. We were using just one manufacturer, one steel manufacturer. We've grown it to now 5 lots, and we use a bunch of different manufacturers now for the different lots, and that's where we've gone from there. But from one lot to growing, has been a lot of fun times and a lot of trial and error. But so far, we're plugging away. So far, it's been a really good journey for us.
Peter, hopefully you listened to the show last week. And at the end of the show, we asked two questions. So I'll start with the first one is how was the month of February for you as a retailer? I know you have multiple lots, so it may be a little hard to answer for each specific lot, but how was February as a whole, and what are you looking forward to as far as March?
So February as a whole, over all the stores, we are actually down a little bit. I know that's not the right thing to say, but
Okay,
we actually were.
can we cut that? Is this thing live?
But yeah, so obviously we're looking, March and April. April last year was actually, our strongest month. So for closing, delivered sales. So March and April should be really strong. I know I think generally March is the strongest month across the shed industry for sheds, but looking over the numbers, April is actually our strongest month, and I know it varies by regions. We do have one lot up in Georgia, the rest are in Florida, and so that kind of does play a little bit of part of that as well. That they had some bad weather, I guess, up in January, February, so it slowed sales a little bit up in Dalton. So that helped. It didn't help at all for the sales, but depends on which lots. So some lots we had that were up, and then we had other lots that were dramatically down. So overall, we were down a little bit.
Okay. And so what have you added to your lots? That's one of the things I want to talk about today is obviously we know sheds, right? There's all different colors and flavors. And as Peter Miller was saying last week, that his metal ones are, better, which I disagreed with. But what have you added to your lot other than sheds that help in that? And before you answer that, of course, this show is live. We want to hear from you guys. Click the link in the description. It's not there. Message us, let us know. That's what Peter's job is today as he's playing sick. Um, Click the link, join the conversation. Let us know your thoughts. How was your February? What have you added to your lot? And the more we can input from this and share our thoughts and what makes things work and what makes things better, the more we'll grow as an industry. But back to the question, Peter, what have you added besides sheds, besides wood, metal, aluminum, all that? What have you added to your lots that brings value, maybe, or doesn't necessarily sell as well, but brings customers in?
Yeah, so of course the biggest one is obviously the carport industry. If you're not selling steel buildings and carports, you're definitely missing out. I encourage everybody to sell steel buildings. Yes, we have a little bit of battles with the online retailers. If you sell steel, you know what I'm talking about. The lowest price that they're $10,000 cheaper than our buildings sometimes, but so steel buildings, of course, is the biggest one. That's the biggest money maker, right? That's the one we make the most on. But then also now we've implemented carport, or implemented gazebos, chicken coops, greenhouses, dog kennels, and they're still outdoor structures, but they're not sheds. And yes, we don't sell a ton of them, and I don't think really anybody sells a ton of those. But we've had multiple people that have bought either, like I say, a dog kennel. They come back and buy another dog kennel, and then they come back and buy a shed. So they'll end up still circling around back to that shed, or have bought a shed from us previously and said, "I didn't know you guys sold dog kennels." Then they'll buy a dog kennel from us. So it helps get that reoccurring customer. We still have that obviously in the shed. Some people buy more than one shed, but it's just not as common to buy more than one shed as it is to buy multiple different structures. So they'll buy a carport from us, that goes well. They'll buy a shed from us, then they'll buy a dog kennel from us. So it helps keep that customer, that happy customer that you created and worked that relationship with, to actually buy again from you. So instead of chasing a new customer, you're actually getting that repeat customer. And then the more they buy from you, the more they're going to be, your salesperson out to their friends and neighbors. And, oh, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? Oh, I got it all from the same place, so that local dealer. So I think it does help, with that reoccurring customer, and also that, that customer is happy with you, that's going to buy that dog kennel somewhere, might as well be from you.
Right. I know I've seen those at your lot. They look really cool. I
Yeah.
know my wife was asking, like, how much are those chicken coops? Then we
Come on
found out
down.
and figured, no, but it does draw attention. As I was in New York recently, I seen that they had playgrounds and it added a lot of color to their lots. I
Yes.
know that just by seeing your lots, you do not have playgrounds. Is there a reason for that, or you just haven't found a vendor, or don't have enough space? Um, that's one of the things that first, when I've seen their lots, the first thing I saw when I was driving by, like, these are nice playgrounds, and it caught my eye.
Yeah, so on some of the lots, we do have, a smaller footprint. So obviously that would play a role into that. Do we want to give up the space to have a playground versus, displaying another shed? Um, but some of our lots, we do have the extra room, but unfortunately, we haven't found the right manufacturer to partner with yet on that. That's something we have explored in the past, and wouldn't be mind talking to someone about that, if we found the right partnership for that. Same thing with if you drive up north, like we're in, the south, we're in Florida, so you drive up north, a lot of the shed lots up there have like poly furniture and stuff like that, and outdoor decorations. There's not very many places, if any, shed lots that I have found in Florida that have that. That's more of a regional thing. Up north, they have it a lot. I don't know of anybody that has it down here. And that'd be something else that, I think a lot of us down in the South would be interested in, given the right opportunities.
Well, there you go. If you're a vendor or wholesaler
Yep.
of playgrounds, poly furniture, this is the importance of watching this show. I got a dealer right here for you that is willing to sign up. I'm guessing you would sign up with several
Right?
lots. So if you're on, you could join the call right now and get some lots signed up. But yeah, I noticed that I don't know how well it sells. I don't have much data on that. I'm sure if we ask the reps, they'll probably say a lot.
Right.
Um, but
Right.
it's just it's just an interesting thing that kind of draws your attention to it.
Correct.
But how many different vendors and stuff do you carry with your dog kennels? Is that somebody different for like dog kennels? I know you have dog kennels, gazebos, greenhouses, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So currently, right now, the greenhouse, dog kennels, chicken coops, all that's through one vendor, one manufacturer that handles all that. The sheds on the other side, we do carry a couple different manufacturers for sheds, and for various reasons. Just depends on the location. Maybe that manufacturer already has a dealer in that location, or whether we want to try to sell wood there or a metal building there. But we do carry multiple different vendors for sheds, but just one vendor for the chicken coops and stuff like that. Now we are supposed to be getting in very shortly up in Dalton, I believe. We're supposed to be partnering with a trailer company that was actually at the Shed Sale Summit, and we're supposed to be getting those trailers in very soon. They're going to do rent to own on them, which we're super excited about. And once again, it's reselling that same customer we already made a positive impact on. They're already happy with us, trying to get them as a repeat customer. Maybe they bought a shed the first time. Now they need a trailer. They rented on the shed. They saw how easy it was, what the process was, what it didn't require much down. they see we have trailers now, and they're like, hey, I bet they do the same thing for the shed or for the trailers. So we're excited to see what that does. But we haven't rolled that out just yet, but it's coming very shortly.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that works. But I don't know how long you've been selling the um add-on, like the uh gazebos and dog kennels and stuff like that. How long have you been selling them? And what percentage, if you had a guess, is people that are buying those units versus the sheds that you sell?
Yeah, so it's probably maybe 10% of our sales. Like I said, it's not much, but it is that eye catching, get them in, talk to them, and then also that repeat customers. Like I said, I don't know. I know we had multiple customers that had bought one of the other items and then come back and bought a shed from us. So it's maybe they don't buy it, right up front a shed from us, but eventually they need one, and so they had a positive experience with us. They'll come back. But yeah, we've only been selling them for, I would say, a little over a year now. So it also takes a little bit of time for customers to know that, hey, they sell, chicken coops. When I'm ready for a chicken coop, they'll think of us hopefully first, and come get one from us.
Okay. The second question we asked yesterday, at the end of the show, was maybe like the craziest shed you've traded in or repoed. I know there was one at your lot years ago. It was like a 12 by 30 or 14 by 30, and you probably remember this, but someone got it and they made it into like a clothing store, and they had like shoes and clothes. And I remember you repoed it and you gave them however that works, like 30 days to get their stuff out or whatever. And they didn't, if you remember that or not. And there was like boxes and boxes of brand new shoes, brand new, clothing. And I remember just going through that as, years ago and kind of shopping. But what's your craziest story? And when you know that we have a guest in the waiting room we're going to bring on here in just a second. But
Oh.
before we get there, tell us your craziest repo trade in. There's got to
Hmm.
be something.
That is a hard one. I'm trying to rack my brain, figure out which one was the craziest. Um, I know just recently we repoed one, and it had a. We looked through the windows, of course. There's locks. We left it. We didn't touch it. Um, but we looked through the windows, and there was a big four wheeler, like the one with the snorkel on the front, and it looked really nice. It came down to the very last day they were able to get it, and they paid it. We were this close. But it was full of, like, you could tell it was really nice stuff through the windows. And we deliver it back to them, untouched. We didn't open it up, didn't go through anything. But as far as that, I mean, we've had some really nasty ones as well. I mean, big ones that they turn into chicken coops, and you get it back and it's just wrecked inside, or dog kennels. But yeah, so I mean, the ones that we want to get are obviously the ones filled with nice stuff in it. Um, and
Hopefully
then
the
completely
RTO companies are not
drywalled.
listening.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know which one I would say is the craziest one I ever got.
Okay.
That'd be a hard
Well,
one.
came down to the wire one day. But hey, we have a guest here. This is an honor to have the Shed Geek himself. You
All
are
right.
live on the show. Shannon, it's great for you to join us. This is an honor. Are you there?
Well,
Maybe.
Well,
Okay,
hopefully, I
there we go.
somewhere. Yeah, I didn't know if you had me okay. My audio's messing up over here. So, one second.
Okay. That's the thing about going live is we have those same problems. I mean, we were like a minute late because me and Peter are actually at the same place today, and we were running around trying to find a spot where you can't hear the other person in the background. But are you good, Shannon?
maybe.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't see you, but that's okay.
Okay. I can get you there. Give me just a sec.
There we go.
All right. I just switch
Okay,
over
we
to my
got
MacBook.
Hey, when all else fails, go to Apple. It's reliable.
That's right.
I'm on my MacBook as well. So I don't think Shannon needs any introducing. The Shed Geek. I remember back years and years ago when I first got in the shed industry, just going to shows and stuff, and then kind of he was my only figure that I knew in the shed industry as years went on, and it's been a great friendship. I know he's traveled down a couple of times down here and done some interviews with us and Peter and my brother Gary and my nephews and all the Boyles. But it's an honor to have you on the show, Shannon. Well,
Yeah, I thought I would just stop by. Peter had just messaged me, and I saw where you guys were putting the link into the Shed Sales Professionals, and of course, we've got the settings set up to require a approval. But I thought I'd jump in real quick and just say hello and say thank you for all that you guys are doing. I certainly love that you guys are always forward thinking and moving in a direction that moves the industry forward. But I am getting like some big time squelch or some big time feedback, and I'm not sure if that's on my end or what's going on here. It's almost like there's a bit of a delay in the audio on my end.
well, hopefully everything's good on our end. It seems like it is. But Shannon, it is a great honor for you to join and just to say hi. And that's what this show's all about, is just to get people to come on. I know it's going to take a while just to break the ice and to get people on, especially if it's on video. It's more intimidating. I mean, look at Peter Miller. He's calling in sick on the third show because we all know it's because he's nervous, but he's not going to say that. And we can say whatever we want because he's not on here. So. But no, it is a great honor. You're a big icon in the shed industry for me, and I know a lot of folks. And we thank you for what you do and putting those episodes out. And it's entertaining. As a lot of us, especially that own multiple lots, have long drives a lot of time, and so just to play your podcast, I think I've played several. Just continuing on, but thank you for all you do in the industry. But it's simple as that, folks. Just hop on, say just say hi, just to get your face out there. Anything big coming up in the Shed Geek world before we go?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've got something going on my end on the audio. I'm probably going to have to hop off because I'm hearing you twice. I'm hearing two conversations, but I'll make sure I join the next time whenever I see you guys on here, and I'll get my audio figured out. You'd think for a podcast guy, I would have some of that done, but I hopped on here last minute, and you got to see me in rare form, backwards hat and everything. So appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try to get my audio figured out, but I'm gonna go back and listen to what you guys are talking about because I always appreciate what you guys have to say. You're leaders in the industry, and just love to be affiliated with you and everything that you guys do. Appreciate that you're putting out content. That matters.
All right, thank you, Shannon. All right, we actually have another guest in the waiting room. This is what it's all about, folks. Get in, get your question in, try to sign up a dealer while we have them on the call today, whatever it is. But we'll welcome to the stage Keith. Keith, good to have you.
Good to be here, guys.
Hey, take a second. Of course, we know who you are, but take a second, introduce yourself, what you do, where you're from, and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. I'm Keith Simmons. I'm the National Sales Director for Eagle Carports. Been in and around the shed and metal structure industry now for 27 years. So having spent 24 years with Leonard Buildings and Truck Accessories, and I've been with Eagle now for a little while, and just enjoying the ride here. Absolutely.
Okay, well, great. Well, good to have you. I know we were talking about steel buildings and stuff, and I believe Peter sells your product, right?
He does. He does. Does a wonderful job. Does a wonderful job.
This might be bad if he doesn't.
Time to sign me up.
So, Keith, as far as the steel building, metal structure, or whatever you consider it, what do you see as far as the month of February? but also what are some changes that you're seeing in that industry?
Well,
Well, this is the thing of going live again. I don't know if you're still there yet. I see your name, Keith, but I don't see your face or hear you. But so to kind of direct that question to you, Peter, what do you see? I know you have a lot of lots and a lot of displays, and I know some of you have some huge displays. What do you see the difference in, like, if you were opening a new lot today, or somebody that maybe doesn't have steel today, or somebody that does? What is your suggestion as far as like the best displays to put up that converts into sales?
so I know I like the stacker units, and stacker units sometimes get a bad rap. The regular style, the boxy style, and then the vertical style, one on top of each other. It kind of tells the customers as they're driving by, hey, they sell carports. But I think you should have that as well as the biggest display that the steel company will give you. And I know it's a lot of money out of the steel company's pocket at first to put that display up for you. So a lot of times, they won't put a big display up until you have proved yourself that you can sell steel and you're going to be faithful to them. But I'm always pushing for the largest display I can get on each lot. I believe you sell what you have. So if you have a large display on your lot, you're going to sell large buildings. If you just got a little 20 by 20, garage, yeah, you'll sell some steel. But if they're looking for, a 60 by 100, they're going to go to a lot that's got a really nice display, really big, to show them what you can do. Even if that's not the exact one they buy, they want to see a large display. I don't know about Keith. I don't know if that's what you guys see, but that's what we see.
So I noticed Keith dropped off. Peter thought he was gone. Then he started talking about he needs bigger units. So I don't know.
Well, I did catch that. Funny, I caught that part. I don't know. I had some audio.
Put all the plugs
video,
you can in.
had a little audio video workings I had to work out there. So I apologize, but I will say this: demos certainly help. Right? They as you're driving by, you see the storage buildings, and lots of times, you may have 30, 40, 50 storage buildings out there, and one carport. And so, yeah, demos can definitely, give people a reason to stop. But I'll be honest with you, the salesman's always going to sell it. So I have conversations daily. I've had it even today. We were talking about demos with folks, and I agree with you, Peter. Those those large displays, they do help. But I tell you, the old school going out and meeting and greeting where the customer's at on the lot. I'm from that. I'm from that world and have been for a long time. A simple carport I always set a banner that says "It all begins here" would have a lot of impact to put on a carport, because everything starts as a carport, and you just customize it however you and your significant other or friend, whatever, really want to do. So I missed quite a bit of that conversation, but I do agree that demos absolutely help. And I did hear you, Peter. It's like you work with us. You say, hey, you got to have a little skin in the game, because, the days of getting in a car and riding around and, hey, I've got, I'm in the carport industry. I'd like to put a demo at your lot. I'll sign you up if you let me put this demo up. That's just not as effective as it used to be. You guys being the professionals of selling storage buildings and such, meeting people where they're at, having those conversations, getting to know people, because people buy from who they like. At the end of the day, it will always remain true. Folks buy from who they like and who they can establish a relationship and a conversation with. It still works.
Let me translate for the listeners out there. You have the dealer saying he wants big units, that big units sell. You have the manufacturer who's saying the relationship sells. So you kind of hear it from both angles today. They both have a reason for saying what they say.
Yeah.
This is
What he's saying is not wrong.
Yeah, I know, I get it. But this is the benefit of having both ends of the start and finish here, as far as the manufacturer and the dealer. But if you have a question, maybe a question for Keith about carports, or maybe you don't have it in your lot and you want to ask a question, hit the link. It should be in the description. Join the conversation. You don't have to turn your camera on. You don't have to, if you're not ready to show your face, just leave your camera off. Just turn your microphone on. Ask Keith a question. Ask us a question. That's what this show is all about. And hopefully we can connect maybe somebody with Keith to sign up. Maybe somebody can call in and sign up Peter over here for swing sets and poly furniture and everything else that he's talked about. But Peter, what is the biggest steel building you've ever sold? You have any idea?
I don't know. It's definitely over 100,000. That's not that uncommon, but I don't know what it is. I have to look.
I was thinking of size and not necessarily dollar amount, but
Okay.
I know Peter Miller sold some big ones, and I was just curious. Because a lot of times when I talk to dealers, they think like putting these carports up, they're going to be selling. Back in my day, when I first started selling sheds, I think what is it? Is it like a 12 by 24? Is that the size of the smallest carport? Is it 1224 or
1220?
1220. I think they were $695 for the regular style when I started.
Yeah.
I think that's the down payment now. But a lot of times dealers don't understand that little carport can lead to $100,000 deal like Peter's talking about. He sold I think you sold more than that as well.
Oh yeah.
Talking to Peter Miller. But it's just it can Peter said check the chat on Facebook for questions. Peter, how can I check it when I'm on the thing? Come on, Peter. But this is the thing of going live. But those little carports can lead into big things. I know Peter at one of his lots has a pretty big display. I don't know who it's from, but it's a big horse barn. But I see a lot of times, and I talk to Peter Miller almost daily, and he talks about how I sold this building, this $50,000 building, this $75,000 building, this $100,000 building. But maybe you can, I don't know if you can show us or not, Keith, but what is like the average size of an order? I think a lot of times dealers think like, I'm going to be selling $795 carports or whatever they are now. I don't know.
And it changes, month to month, to be honest. But, typically, for us right now, we're in that $11,000 range is an average sale right now. A 24 by 25 small garage. What we're seeing.
All right, we lost Keith again.
Back again.
All right, Peter, start talking all bad about him. He'll come back on.
All right, I'm back.
It didn't take very long.
So we were talking about the average before you got cut off there, Keith. The average ticket, or the average someone can expect to sell, as far as steel buildings go. Keith, you can leave your camera off. I know sometimes it takes more data when you have your camera on. You don't have to have your camera on. You just have your mic on will work. But if you ask a question in the Facebook, we're not monitoring the Facebook. We don't have a way to do that yet. So if you could just the easiest way would be just to join the conversation without your mic on, if you just want to ask it. But welcome back, Keith, for the fourth time.
I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. So anyway, a 24 by 25 is a garage that we're seeing, a 12 by 20 storage, but no offense, Peter. Okay. I'm just making a statement here.
Yeah.
A 12 by 20 storage building with the floor manufactured, is in that $10,000-$11,000 range these days. And so a 24 by 25 enclosed garage, a customer who has the room,
right,
can be in that same price range. So that is a lot of times the shed, you only have room for this shed. But if you have a fence, a fence is a great example as well. We don't mind if you have a fence. We can still get it in your backyard through the fence.
Right.
But a 30 by 50, that's a hot number. You'll see that throughout the internet when folks are posting on Facebook, even a 30 by 50, a 40 by 60. Those are very common sizes this day and time, because that's the ones that, it's very competitively priced. So, so everybody, falls into that. But I'm gonna be honest, I do have a shout out, guys, that I have to call this out in case my phone goes out again. This is the one thing I want to drive home today. This is Eagle Carport's 30th year in the industry.
Wow.
So, there are a lot of manufacturers these days in this industry, and choosing the manufacturer to partner with is a huge deal, because you want reliability, because customers buy for three reasons. They want to buy quality, they want to buy for lead times, or they want to buy for price. That's, that's what gets these conversations started. So, we feel like being in the industry for 30 years has puts a large feather in our hat when we're talking to folks, because, the industry is changing every single day. You see different things come and go, but Eagle's strong and here to stay.
Okay, a question from the chat is, where do you see carports and steel buildings going in the near future?
It's just going to continue to grow. I'm in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and the folks that, are familiar with this industry know that that's where this whole game started. So I get asked all the time this question, and, you sell in Mount Airy, North Carolina, you sell in, Charlotte, you sell all these, neighboring places, but, we sell in 26 states currently.
Yeah.
And that's growing. That's forever growing. So, I was in Texas the last couple of weeks, and I'm driving down the road and I'm thinking, holy cow, no wonder Texas is wide open, because there's land everywhere. But the thing is, I think it'll definitely increase. The sales will definitely, and the demand is definitely going to increase. But with that, you're going to see even more tightening up of rules and regulations too. You got to, manufacturers have to stand up and do their part and build things the right way. We want you to have a permit as much as possible, because with permits, with or without permits, that opens up a whole can of worms. You put a unit up and you don't have a permit, then, later on down the line, and somebody comes back to bite you,
I
got
know
trouble.
that's a hot topic between dealers and manufacturers. The manufacturers
It
want
is.
the permits. The dealers and the salespeople are like, we don't care, just sell it.
Just sell.
Just sell. Well, and hey, and trust me, I don't know any other way but to sell. So we just want to make sure that, we push for getting a permit, even though your county or township may not need it. We want to make sure that later on down the line, this unit on your property, that you don't get 5 years and someone shows up at your doorstep, and says, hey, at least you'll have plans, So
Yeah. Hey,
and
Keith,
that comes up.
another question in the chat. I don't know if you can answer this or not, but it says, where is the best place to purchase tubular steel?
America.
Right
Hey.
answer.
Hey, we laugh. Hey, listen, we laugh at that. The best place to buy it is in America. Now, I don't know if that answers the question. We could talk offline, whomever asked that, as far as, which, a manufacturer. I mean, Eagle, obviously, we sell tubular steel. But everything we do is in America. So that's going to be my answer.
Okay.
Especially with these tariffs and stuff going on. I mean, that's something else that's going to change the industry a lot is, prices are, these heavy discounts and these raised, the tariffs and stuff that folks are having to pay, discounts are going down. I see it all the time. Salespeople should love that because obviously the more you sell it for, the more money you make. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Okay. So you're seeing with the I mean, obviously you said you're getting your stuff from America, but the tariffs are still having a pretty big impact on your industry.
Oh, on the industry as a whole, 100%. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that with everything that's going on. I mean, it's so fluid and so changing every day. I'm sure it's hard as importers or manufacturers to kind of forecast that out. So typically, you're gonna forecast in the the safe area. But are you? I know in Florida, it's kind of a trend, I guess you would say. I'm seeing more and more of them. But as far as like barn dominiums, are people using your buildings to make barn dominiums? I see them, going up, and I know in Texas they're pretty popular. As far at least if I see on YouTube, a lot of them are in Texas, but I see a lot more in Florida. So is that something that using your buildings for? Um, is that possible to do with your stuff? Is it
It
engineered for
is.
that?
It is. That's not the bloodline of our business. That's not something that, let's face it, barn dominiums, what folks see online with all these beautiful barn dominiums that are all set up, customers will see that and we'll get a call about it. Barn dominiums take time. They take a lot of time, a lot of follow up. So, we don't do a tremendous amount of barn dominiums right now, but we are getting into the game more and more as, because the industry's, there's a call for it. So
Yeah.
where it makes sense, we're definitely interested in, in listening and seeing what the customers, wants are to see if it's something achievable. So yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, this is the last call. If you have a question to ask Keith before we get off this subject, please hit the link in the description. You can ask it on Facebook. Peter is monitoring. He's been texting me some questions that came up through Facebook. But Peter, do you have any questions for Keith as far
Yes.
as carports go, or
Yeah.
besides
When do we
asking
get
for
our
bigger?
next? When do we get our next big display?
Well, I have seen that during this call, I can't communicate with a text because it'll cut me off. So, so you send me a message, a text, and I will definitely follow up with you on that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're always open to folks that are sending business to
Yeah.
help them grow their business.
I
And
know you are.
that's the thing is, we want nothing but the best in this industry. The folks at
Yeah.
Gabe and Alicia Torres are industry setters. They're leaders. They just want it done right.
Yeah. So the other question, and I think it's a hot topic for most salespeople that sell steel, right? Is you always have that big online presence that, as soon as they start looking for a steel building and start talking around their phone, next thing you know, they get bombarded with, a million ads on Facebook, with prices that are like half the price that we're quoting them. What do you say to those dealers that, they're getting these ridiculous pricing? What do you think we tell the dealers that are getting that, feedback from their customers?
So that's a great question. And
Yeah.
it's a question I have to answer every single day as
I
best
bet.
I can. As best I can. Discounts, the installers that you have, they are paid a percentage of
Yeah.
the discount. Okay. I'm sorry, of the subtotal. So these installers, they're invaluable to your business. And so when they see a discount of 30% off, I'm just throwing a number like that. That's 30% out of their pocket. So
True.
if you want the best product, look at Nike. You don't see Nike discounting. And I probably shouldn't throw names out there, but your top level folks that sell, the top level products, they don't do that by discounting. They do that by explaining, the materials, what I've got one right here, I thought I would bring this on. Eagle Carport stamps their material. we want you to know that we put this up. We're not going to be the cheapest a lot of times. We're in the conversation, especially before you start talking about these big discounts. But, knowing what you're selling, all of our tubing is galvanized inside and out. That's not something that's standard within the industry. And I'll just leave it at that. But, a lot of times what I agree with you, Peter, you see all these big discounts and stuff, but not every customer that you speak to initially has seen that discount. They
Sure.
don't, they might, if you treat them as if, hey, Peter and Andrew Boyle, I'm Keith Simmons. I want to help you today. What's your dream project? What are you looking to achieve? A conversation, and not being afraid when that discount conversation was to come up, but just trying to establish some rapport is going a long way, because we spend a lot of time training dealers now. We're going to tell them, so you're going to hit that guy that hits you with this large discount. So, ways around it is, hey, we offer financing. We
Sure.
offer
So
rent for own.
if you want to race to the bottom, you're going to lose every time. You
You
sell
are.
quality. You sell quality over pricing.
Right.
But hey, real quick, Keith, another question in the chat. This will be our last one that we come up with. Sorry to put you on the spot like this.
Are you good? You're good.
But they're coming in live, so we got to ask them. But it says, when is the 3D builder going to be working with pricing for Florida? Is that a hot question?
Yeah, that's a hot question. Go ahead.
No, it's not actually. So we have another, we have Eagle Carports that's in the majority of the states, and then we have another sister company that's in Florida, and we use a different CRM system for that. So I can answer that offline if I can get that person's information, because I want to make sure we service that area in Florida as well, because we don't cover the entire state, but it is a work in progress.
Okay. Yeah, we know Florida is a very special state to deal with. I mean,
Yeah.
engineered plans and all that fun stuff, because we have these things that they call hurricanes,
Yeah.
and it kind of
Yeah.
blows stuff over. And so, but yeah, that's all the questions we have. And Keith, I really appreciate you jumping on here. And for anybody else that's out there, feel free to hit the link. We'll bring you on, and let's talk about it. And hopefully you can bring value to the listeners. And if you have a question for Keith, can you want to share your information if anybody wants to reach out to you?
Absolutely. Email is ksimmons@eaglecarports.com. And I'll even throw my office number out here. It's 336-733-7152. If you don't reach me, we have 8 other members of the dealer services team. We have 9 total folks that only answer questions from customers and from dealers. So we've got 9 people in here that know what they're talking about, and they're willing to help at any point. So.
Okay, well, great. If you don't have carports, want to sign up, reach out to Eagle Carports. They're a great partner, and obviously there is a lot of other manufacturers out there as well. But it's just a great value you can bring to your shed lot. But Keith, thank you so much for coming on here, and hopefully we'll see you on a call coming up in the future.
Sounds great.
All right, guys, we're running out of time for today, but thank you, Peter, my brother over here, for getting on with us. If you guys will be live again next week. So I encourage you, if you have a question, something, email me at andrew@makingsalessimple.com. You can email your questions in advance, or just some topics that you might want us to talk about, or people you want us to bring on. Like, hey, I want you to, it would be a great idea if you brought this person on, or this manufacturer on, or whatever that might be. Email us, let us know, message us on Facebook, follow the Shed Sales Summit page, and also the Simply Shed Talk group. You'll get notified when we go live. So in the future, you can join us live and ask those questions. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you again next week.
All righty. We'll see you.